Everyone has their favorite car generation. Mine is the 80s and 90s. But I'm not here to observe a museum piece. I put cars in their element. I'm Ryan Symancek, and this is RadVentures. The Nissan 240SX is the absolute definition of budget sports car. They wanted it to be a sports, track-going car for the weekends. Well, the problem is that everybody found out that they were better drift cars. So it got what's called the drift tax. So finding one that's completely stock, that's a unicorn. And we have one. It has hubcaps, original paint, manual transmission, and a stock KA motor. These things are expensive, and there's not much to them. It's a 240SX that has never seen a racetrack. So I came to Raceway Park, which is known for drifting, and we're actually gonna take it out on their drift course and try to track drive it. The heck? What am I supposed to do with this? All right, well this, I guess, goes in there. What were they thinking? Like, are you kidding me? A buckle up here? Let's go drive this stock 240. So there's a reason that I think a Nissan 240SX would be a better track car as well as being everybody's drift car. In the early 1990s, there were Nissan 240s running in IMSA, like the sports car series. And they cleaned house. They won their GTU class 3 years in a row. And yeah, they were not quite a stock 240. It was a tubular chassis with a VG30 Nissan V6. It did about 340 horsepower, bigger tires, you know, full race car, aero and everything. But at the same time, I mean, this is a winning IMSA sports car. It's not just everybody's drift missile. It's a corner machine. It handles amazing. The McPherson struts, the multi-link rear suspension. It's like a more modern car. You know, there's no solid axle to this. This is all independent. I mean, basically, if you think about it, this was your 90s FRS or BRZ or GT86. It drives like a longer Miata. It's predictable, it kicks out when you want it to, and it straightens out when you want it to. Just set it up, turn. With the stock car, it'll understeer. I mean, we are doing a full push right now with the wheel in, push the gas, and it snap oversteers. A lot of people think that 50-50 is the best weight distribution, but for drifting, a little bit of weight in the front means you can direct the nose. And with 45% on the rear, and it being a little bit light and this one kind of soft, it actually steps out really easy. Like that. Oh, woo! Oh, it's a skating rink out here. So even with an open differential, these things slide well. It really is the perfect platform, even though I'm trying to keep it straight.
All right, so let me walk you through this car a little bit, because S13s have some pretty significant little features. First of all, the name, because 240SX basically means that it's the American version, and the 2.4 is for the 2.4 liter KA. In Europe, these were 200 SXs. In Japan, they were 180 SXs, and they had totally different motors. S13 chassis were sold in two different types. You had the hatchback, or what they call the liftback, and then you had the coupe, which in Japan was called the Silvia. And the ride height is rather tall, and it's rather soft. These doors are ginormous. It's a lot of door. If you're building a race car, you can cut all that out. Now the interior is obviously 90s Nissan, super basic. The seats actually have some bolster. They're pretty nice, I like these seats. You got your e-brake, which is in a perfect position when you want to slide sideways. This thing still has its original cassette deck. If you open the door, it doesn't matter if the key's out or the key's missing or the key's in the ignition. You just get that bing and it doesn't stop. And how could I not mention our amazing pinstriping? I've not seen a single 240 that has pinstriping like this with this little swirl. I mean, come on, how 90s is that? So the KA is just your simple 4-cylinder. This one is a dual overhead cam. When they first made them, they came single overhead cam. And other than that, I mean, this is legitimately a truck motor. These also came on the Nissan Frontier, so you're basically just have a lighter platform, rear wheel drive, but it's the same drive line all the way through. The KA motor produced 150 horsepower and 160 foot-pounds of torque.
So the other thing that makes 240s really great is you can pretty much put any motor in them. There's enough room in the engine bay, stick whatever you want. The JDM Nissan SR20 is probably the most common. That's a 2-liter 4-cylinder with a turbo. If you want more power, you can go to Toyota. Put a 1J or a 2JZ in it, or you can go American. Throw a Chevy LS in it, and all of a sudden you're a V8 Nissan 240. Now, I honestly like the KA. I think it's enough power to learn, especially when I'm trying to drive this like a track car.
Now, admittedly, with these wet conditions, this 240 is pretty hard to drive straight. But as a general rule, you can grip anything up. Add stiffer suspension, better brakes, bigger tires. And so long as it's balanced, like 240s are, there's no doubt in my mind.
Just a few more bits and a 240 would be a good track car. Where does that come from?
This is Alex Jagger and Matt Bystrak of the Gas Factory Drift Team. Rumor has it that when somebody says the word track car, they hammer down and intervene.
What in the world is this? Track car? Ryan, don't you know that 240s are drift cars, man?
These are amazing.
Dude, why don't you get in the car and I'll show you what a real 240SX can do.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right? You wanna go
all right,
for a
let's
ride?
go. We'll leave that one there.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that one anymore.
We're going from tan to purple.
In competition drifting, Alex Jagger is notorious for close follow runs.
Come on, car. All right, let's do this.
I'm about to have a hell of a ride.
Oh, yeah, baby.
We entered right on his door. You feel it? Boom, boom, boom.
Now this is what you should be doing in a 240.
I'm telling you.
50%. This is the most fun I've ever had in a 240, and I'm not even driving.
That's what I love about drifting too. I can take someone, put them in the car, and give them like the craziest ride of their life.
Whew. All right, let's be honest. Drift cars are just way cool. A stock S13 is a special piece, but competition drift cars are wild animals.
This thing is so nuts. Like, it is a completely different car from a stock 240SX. I cannot believe, one, how you drive, and two, how this thing performs, because we are so close in the tandem.
When you watch it, you're like, that looks pretty crazy, but when you feel it in the seat of your pants, it's insane.
The amount of like grit and tires, things that were hitting me in the face,
Whew, I'm like still hopped up on adrenaline because that was absolutely the ride of my life. So there's a 240 in here. This is an S13.
Yeah, from like here to here is a factory S13.
And that's it.
So as far as today's drift cars go, it's pretty normal operation. From the front strut towers forward, it's all tubular structure. It's meant to crush kind of easily but be strong and to be replaced really easily. So if I have to do like a really quick, I don't want to say engine change because it's not quick, but anything to the front, the whole front of the car comes off. The back is mostly tubular. It still retains the factory frame rails, but it has a tubular structure for the radiator and the fuel cell as well. And obviously a crash bar and all that other stuff in the back so you could jack the car up. I mean, the suspension's where it gets crazy. This car has everything made by GK Tech. It can get about 70 degrees of steering angle. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, they think drift cars are set up to be really loose. Drift cars are literally the tightest car you could get in. They're meant to get so much grip so that you could do those maneuvers we were doing before, like sucking up on Matt's door.
All right, show me what's under this hood.
It's a Toyota 1JZ VVTi. It comes out of a JZX 110. So a JZX 110 in Japan is a 4-door sedan. Literally, you would drive your kids to school in it. It's got a single turbocharge. Okay. Yeah, it makes about 550 wheel horsepower. It has a 350Z transmission mated to it. Slight modifications, it runs GTR coil packs from a VR38. It runs a Tomei turbo, Tomei cams, everything else is stock. Truth be told, like, there's not a whole lot of money put into the engine package itself. The engine management and everything else, it's pretty pricey. It's really quite simple. A AM Infinity that's meant to run a Dodge Viper. The ECU controls everything. We flip one switch, the car is, I don't have to do anything. I go out there and drive it, and the dashboard does it all. That's the techie side of it. As far as this goes, this is a pretty basic setup. It's been in here for years. I've changed the oil and put fuel in it, and that's all I've had to do. It's a really reliable motor. It's the key. If you want to compete, you want reliability. That's how I got to where I'm at. That's how we got multiple wins and stuff like that, was just having a package that was reliable.
This won 2 events outright this season and came in 3rd in US Drift. Like,
yeah, where we were doing donuts around you,
yeah,
that's where I did both my victory donuts for both the wins.
Yeah.
We did back-to-back wins at the Gambler. It was insane. Those were my first ever wins I got in my career of competing. So, I mean, you know, it's the most insane feeling. Now we're gonna be doing Formula Drift next year. It's mind-blowing. All thanks to this car.
This purple car
yeah,
got you to the pros. I mean, you can't sell it. It's so awesome to be in it. He's gotten a lot better at getting close to people.
I think I just care less about ruining my car.
That was so tight. I mean, yeah, we got a little too tight though, because, well.
Oh yeah, well.
She's looking a little low back here, Alex. What did we do?
I think we hit Matt a couple too many times, and we broke a camber arm. Fortunately, I think we got a spare.
Oh, you got another one. It's in the driver's seat.
This is what broke right here.
I guess we gotta fix it now.
Yeah, we should try to fix it, because I'd like to see you drive this car.
You wanna see me drive this thing?
You're a good driver, man. Found a lift. I managed to jack the car up, and can you find anything wrong for me up there?
Oh, that one's on. Oh.
That's on. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I think this is.
You like hang off of that.
I don't think this is supposed to do that.
Sure, like, truth be told, there's only 2 bolts that hold this on. So at the end of the day, it's not a hard fix at all.
Well, I got the perfect wrench for you to do it.
Is that a Nipex channel lock?
There you go. Let's go get this thing off, buddy.
Thank God you're not a mechanic.
Give me 2 2x4s and a 6x6 and a skill saw. I think we'll have this thing. Oh, wrenches, all right. That is a clean break. Wow, look at the fracture in that.
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean, it's
crazy
like,
how that broke.
I mean, I don't know about you, but that looks pretty good.
I've won competitions on way worse alignments than that, so you'll be fine.
All right, well, rain or shine, let's send it. It's super wet out there.
It's a little soggy.
But when Alex Jagger says you can drive his car, I'm gonna take him up on it. How much horsepower does this have?
552 to be exactly, to the tire.
And it's raining. I can barely see out of the windscreen.
You got my gloves on, so that means you got this.
Purple gloves, I got this.
Purple gloves, purple car. You know, just give it an e-brake and then get on it.
Ooh, all right, here we go, buddy.
There you go. too comfortable with that angle now. You're getting the hang of it. It's hard, it's so slippery, you know?
When it's a new car, it's like a lot to think about. I mean, what do you think, honestly?
Yeah, you did fine, yeah. It's hard conditions to drive right now. For never driving a real drift car, really, you did pretty good.
Of course, this track is made up of like 4 different sections of pavement. So like
At least 4.
Yeah, you get onto another section and it's different than the other section. So when it's greasy like this, it's definitely tricky. Like if it was dry, it'd definitely be more scary. I mean, it would definitely be faster.
You would have to loosen it up a bit for you to really, so you could actually get it, because it'll be too intimidating at the beginning.
Oh yeah, because I could see how much speed you would need in the dry to really get this thing to just catch and go. But other than that, it still feels like an S13. It just feels like it has way more power and it's way more gripped up.
And it's like way more solid. Like every single bushing, every single arm is all solid mounted versus like a stock car. So you get a lot more of a feeling out of the car.
Dude, well, I mean, I can't thank you enough for letting me drive this thing. It's unbelievable. I wish it was dry. It's definitely a little bit slow, but I think I did okay. I have an idea though. I know something that might be way more fun in these type of conditions.
Oh yeah? What would that be?
I'll show you. All right, let's go.
Well, what do you mean, let's go?
Let's go, buckle up.
I don't know how to put the seatbelt on.
Buckle up, come on.
Is it it?
Oh yeah, you got 2, I forgot to tell you. You feel safe?
No! Yeah, just keep going.
Come on, G.
There we go. And back. Oh, boy. It's so soft, it feels like a rally car.
You got any tunes? I feel like we need some tunes.
Oh, dude, I found a cassette tape. It's right here, dude.
So my biggest takeaway of driving both of these cars is it doesn't really matter what kind of S13 you have. I guarantee you will eventually send it sideways. Be my guest and make it a track car. But if you really want to put a smile on your face, my opinion has changed. Go drifting. But I'll warn you, it's pretty easy to get carried away.
This thing's fun. It needs a diff.
Yeah, we can weld one up.
Maybe a little more steering angle. Could use a little more power. Subframe feels a little weak in the back. The bushings are...
Yeah, I mean, we could just pull the whole subframe out and put a winner's quick change differential.
How much is that?
About $5 grand.
Probably needs wheels and tires.
Yeah, it might need a roll cage too.
Oh, cage. Yeah, it needs a cage.
You know, lower control arms, camber arms, you need all that.
Oh, we need the trailer. Forget about the trailer. I think I need an F450. I need a shop.
To build it in, yeah. I don't think you want to build it in your driveway.
Welders. I mean, give or take $1 million, I think we're good.
I think $1 million will get you in the door, yeah.
Okay.
You'll be in the door.
$1 million will get you in the door.